This is your life, your storehouse of things. The dust, dirt, and mildew your life attracts on surfaces of the idle things of your life. Here are shelves filled with tools, parts, books, necessary things arranged as only you would have them, and things that no longer matter, broken, unused, or forgotten things. Here are cans of leftover paint, jars of varnish and glue, with rusted seals and frozen lids. Bottles of mordant acid and ground are where they were last used, coated in the fine powder of time. A half-open vise on the bench is littered with filings now, rusted. An anvil rests on the floor askance, and bench grinder inhabits a corner of the room on its homemade stand. Power tools with rolled-up cords fill the steps to the loft, among other tools, wrenches, screwdrivers, hammers, chisels, and bits, blades, belts, fasteners, plain, square, chalk box, and tin snips, goggles, a nail pouch, apron, smock, and what is either stored beneath or fallen behind the stairs over time. All such things are present that follow the context of your life. In the open spaces of the room, unfinished paintings line the walls in plain view. Some have stood for months, seasons, years. Others were begun last week. Taboret and palette, easel and stool, paintbox full of pigments, and bucket of brushes soaking in spirits overlook the corner still life table, set with a musty cloth. Chalk and charcoal markings on its surface circumscribe missing things. Vessels, crusts of fruit, and imploded squash, seeds adrift in the ruined flesh, desiccated vines, stems, and curled fallen leaves amid roach and mouse droppings, and egg cases of Drosophila, accompanying stains of blood, rust, oil, and other remainders from which a painting has taken flight. Shovels, hoe, pitchfork, axe, and pick, and fresh-cut staves lean against the open side of the table. Bevy of skulls, horse, pig, cow, and human with jawbones, scapulae. Vertebrae and turtle shells stow in the shadows beneath the table in common suspense. Empty frames dangle from the joists of the loft among various handsaws, hooked on nails by their handles. Length of chain, a pail of obstetrical tools, can of saddle grease, load binder and pulleys, lantern, longshoreman's grapple, steel traps and sprig of dried bay leaves strung by its binding, hang interspersed between 3 naked bulbs illuminating sectors of the room. Drawings, prints, and leaves of paper commingle in heaps on the drafting table and floor, and fill drawers of the flat file, in unmitigated chronology, evidence old and new of the limits of an imagination. This is your life, house that contains it, place you spend your days, where everything will be when you stop, your hands and feet stayed, and heart quiets in its chamber for good. Outside, backed into place against the small porch, a tractor and buggy, legs and pack mule of your existence. On its deck, buckets of staples and nails, fence tools and stretcher, gloves, bale of new wire, and rusty hoops of old, shovel, post hole digger, posts, pruning saw and machete, lariat, jug of water and blocks of wood. Across the way at the entrance to the yard, the angle, incline, and width of the crossing, all determined so long ago, and dangers affixed to your life by design, belong to you, as do puddle holes in the driveway that keep their places despite everything. The edge and fact of the road, its grade, tended weekly by the county machine, and ingredients, blonde sands, silver fines, brittles of rock and lime, fragments of bone and shells, their bright, bleached otherness you've wondered about your whole life, insect carapaces, trails of slugs and worms, and lines of ants hauling burdens from source to burrow in constant streams upon this scrim. Things of season, the autumn mast, pollens of spring, whole limbs felled in summer afternoon storms, litter of fronds, sticks, and leaves, the shadows of trees, interrupting that brightness along its length, out to the edges of your life, the entire particularity of your existence, flowing above, beneath, and around you, where you go and what you do, in each day's passing, laying treads of your machines, prints of your feet, turning as a giant ball, receiving you every moment it throws you at the world. Stopping as you stop, waiting while you eat and rest, moving again when you're ready to roll. This is your life, which, as far as you know, goes on forever.
This is how death comes.
This is how death comes.
Arriving unseen,
wearing
your clothes, tying your shoes, appearing in the mirror, something
in the mirror
you can't recognize but know full and well. A false sense, misgiven notion, mistaken assurance, wrongful assumption. The dog you beat, horse you let run, gate you don't open or forget to shut. Letting weeds grow, fences go, misjudged weather, rotted leather, overhanging limb, dangling vine, loosened nuts, hidden hole, unraveled twine. The pipe you don't clear when it's dry, or can't when it rains. Unhoned knife, missing chain, dulled saw, wrung threads, ungreased fitting, climb you haven't strength to take. Difference a year makes. Forging ahead, quitting too soon, anger, tiredness, distraction, greed. Song of the spinning blades as you draw near, caress of the morning breeze. Upon your skin, light as you are not a creature of darkness, the dark and your need for peace and sequestration. Present every moment, rare to the world, invites you often, takes you once. The last thing you know, the first moment, your life becomes a story.